you have a podcast that focuses on the de-romanticizing of 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 real estate, right? By acknowledging some of those missteps. What are some of those common missteps that you've seen while talking to guests on your show?
Man, it's been extremely eye-opening because I knew there were issues just from my own mistakes, but to have top operators from all over the country come on and tell me about some of their biggest blunders, I think, everybody knows you can't pay too much, right? That's one of the overarching ones, but what does that actually mean? Uh, I had Kenny Wolf come on. And he told me about not actually scheduling move outs the right way. He needed to go in and raise up one of the buildings on his property, and he could never get all 4 units vacant at the same time. And because of that, he lost revenue for 3 of the units over the course of the year, just trying to keep it vacant. And so that made him miss his first year pro forma and a bunch of other things. I had Brian Burt come on. He told me about having to write a $15,000 check each month for 3 years because he didn't want to go in and do a capital call with his partners or investors in the deal. I've had a guy named Sam Stillwell come on. His first multifamily deal was a triplex, and he talks about all of the things that went wrong. Just something as simple as trying to get through an exterminator can be a big deal when you get into the space and not really knowing what to do, or if you buy a property and you're cash strapped, or stuff happens. My personal mistakes is modeling issues, right? I modeled something that my taxes were $10,000. I modeled them as $1,000 and got surprised at the end of the year because I thought they'd been paid by the attorney and they hadn't been.
Oh, man.
What else have I done? Oh, one. So on due diligence, we were walking through a property and I noticed that all the vents had been taped off in the unit. I was like, what in the world's going on here? We tried to turn it on and the unit wouldn't turn on. It just kept clicking off. And we're like, this is really weird. We closed anyway. So then we start doing the inspection afterwards, and the HVAC guy says, this is probably the disgusting thing I've ever seen. There was a possum that fell on the heater coils in the HVAC unit. And so whenever you turn it on, it was a stench of death, right? Because you were searing that animal on the heating coils. And so we closed without actually figuring out what it was. And, just being so excited and anxious to get into the deal often makes people make some mistake, and they end up paying for things that they probably shouldn't pay for because those are problems that existed before you close. And so, there's a ton of them. We've recorded probably 35 or 40 episodes already, and we just started it after COVID. And, it's been really eye-opening and really enlightening for me.
Yeah, so there's a common saying that success leave clues, right? So mistakes also leave clues. We can learn from those, right? And if we learn from that, we definitely will be rewarded for being proactive. You know what I mean, by having a property that runs without any kind of crazy missteps, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, without question. I mean, I think the collective operating community doesn't want anybody to make the same mistake that they made, right? If I make a mistake, you guys shouldn't make that same mistake because we've already uncovered that that's likely. And I think the one that I probably should have mentioned that I haven't mentioned yet is just around raising money, doing it legally and doing it without asking or pushing or pulling people into the space, because that will make investors run away. And so there's some really good lessons throughout the podcast.